Welcome to our channel. Today we're uncovering the extraordinary life and poignant journey of Ali MacGraw, a Hollywood icon whose beauty, talent, and on-screen charisma captivated audiences around the world. Best known for her unforgettable role in Love Story, Ali's life behind the scenes was marked by personal struggles, resilience, and reinvention. Join us as we explore her rise to fame, the highs and lows of her relationships, and her inspiring transformation after facing adversity. Ali MacGraw was born on April 1, 1939, in Pound Ridge, New York, to parents who had their own personal struggles, leaving the atmosphere at home less than idyllic. It all began with her father, Richard MacGraw, who had Scottish ancestry and a painful personal history that included time in a New Jersey orphanage, and her mother, Frances, an artist with Jewish-Hungarian roots. They were two creatively inclined people, but their challenges ran deep: financial instability, personal resentments, and, in her father's case, lingering bitterness that sometimes manifested as aggression. Ali was not one to speak in detail about every childhood wound, but she has painted a picture of tension, especially around her mother's Jewish heritage, which her father never fully accepted. The MacGraw household was a place where art met upheaval, planting the seeds of creativity and conflict that would shape Ali's life. Even so, she found sources of inspiration, particularly in her mother's talent as a commercial artist and in the knowledge that both her parents had studied art at some point. Ali found solace and discipline in her education. She attended Rosemary Hall in Greenwich, Connecticut, eventually moving on to Wellesley College, one of the most prestigious liberal arts institutions in the country. While she might have entertained the idea of a calm future in the arts, her parents' issues and the pressing need to earn a living soon nudged her toward fashion. After graduating, she decided to seek work at fashion magazines, places like Harper's Bazaar and Vogue, where trend-setting editors and photographers shaped the public's sense of style. In 1960, at the age of 22, she got her foot in the door as a photography assistant, working under legendary visionaries like Diana Vreeland at Harper's Bazaar and collaborating with top stylists for Vogue. It didn't take long for someone to notice she was more than just a capable assistant. Her luminous gaze, combined with a complexion that barely needed makeup, made her stand out in the heyday of glammed-up fashion images. She found herself in front of the camera for commercial work, modeling for products such as Polaroid's Swinger camera. This was a time when natural beauty was becoming a coveted look, less pancake makeup, fewer artifice-laden hairstyles. Ali's effortless elegance signaled a shift, one that was capturing the public's imagination. She seemed real, relatable, yet undeniably photogenic, an appealing departure from the heavily stylized faces that had dominated previous eras. Modeling was not enough. She wanted to perform, to step into roles that demanded emotional resonance. And so, in 1968, after her stint in commercial modeling, she made her first foray into acting with a small part in the film A Lovely Way to Die. Even though it was a minor role, she approached it with sincerity and an eagerness to learn. She was far from the typical Hollywood newcomer who might arrive with an entourage or a well-connected mentor. Ali brought a quieter determination, building her craft step by step, guided by a mix of curiosity and sheer will. A bigger break came in 1969 with Goodbye, Columbus, a romantic comedy drama that dove into themes of class, culture, and identity. Ali played Brenda, a young woman from a wealthy Jewish family who becomes entangled in a summer fling that forces both her and her boyfriend to question their values. Critics praised her performance, describing her presence as magnetic. Something about her calm confidence against the film's more intense, layered conflicts resonated with viewers. The accolades piled up quickly. she was awarded the 1970 Golden Globe Award for Most Promising Newcomer, Female, a remarkable achievement for an actress with so few screen credits. And beyond professional success, she found herself growing close to Robert Evans, a Paramount executive who had risen swiftly through the studio ranks. Evans was known for his sharp eye for talent and an ability to spot future blockbusters. He believed in Ali's potential and became not just her confidant, but also her husband when they married in 1969. The union was a mix of personal and professional synergy. Evans helped guide Ali's career, steering her toward roles that would highlight her unique blend of natural charm and understated elegance. It was hardly surprising then that Ali's next project would become one of the defining movies of the early 1970s, Love Story. Released in 1970, Love Story paired Ali MacGraw as Jennifer Cavallari with Ryan O'Neal, who played Oliver Barrett IV. The film became nothing short of a cultural phenomenon. Its storyline, centered on the love between a wealthy young man and a smart, spirited music student, captured the hearts of millions. For many, the image of Ali MacGraw as Jenny wearing winter caps and delivering incisive lines with a playful wit remains an enduring emblem of cinematic romance. The film's signature tagline, "Love means never having to say you're sorry," turned into a pop culture staple repeated in conversation for years to come. Ali's portrayal earned her both an Oscar nomination and a second Golden Globe, this time for Best Actress in a Drama. Despite the potentially saccharine undertones of the story, she gave Jenny a bracing sense of reality, someone who might make jokes or poke fun, even while her life was hanging in the balance. Yet Ali's personal life was just as dramatic, if not more. She had married Robert Evans in 1969, and they had a son, Josh, who would grow up to become an actor, director, and screenwriter in his own right. But as Ali's fame soared, so did her opportunities, and she found herself on the set of a new movie, The Getaway, opposite Steve McQueen, a Hollywood icon famed for his rugged charm. The script for The Getaway, an action-packed crime drama directed by Sam Peckinpah, didn't initially thrill Ali. She even hesitated to take the role. It was Evans who persuaded her that branching out into different genres could expand her range and strengthen her career. Ironically, that persuasion would prompt a life-changing shift because Ali MacGraw and Steve McQueen, despite their different temperaments, fell passionately in love. For Ali, this love was both electric and catastrophic. She eventually divorced Robert Evans and in 1973 married McQueen. He was the king of cool on screen, the embodiment of renegade masculinity. But behind the scenes, McQueen grappled with substance abuse, controlling tendencies, and a trail of extramarital affairs. He insisted Ali abandon her career to focus on being a homemaker, an especially harsh demand for someone whose momentum had been skyrocketing. Hoping to salvage the marriage, Ali stepped away from film for 5 years, sacrificing a prime stretch in her acting life. She later spoke openly about the isolation and heartbreak of living with someone who had unpredictable behavior. What was once seen by the public as a glamorous match turned out to be a suffocating dynamic behind closed doors. When Ali decided in 1978 that she needed to reclaim her professional identity, she signed on for Convoy, an action film featuring Chris Christopherson. That decision effectively ended her marriage to McQueen. They divorced in the same year, and heartbreakingly, McQueen died of cancer in 1980. Ali tried to reach out, hoping they could share a moment of forgiveness or understanding, but he refused contact. It was a wound that lingered, an unresolved goodbye from a man she had once loved fervently, but who had also caused her profound pain. In the midst of that personal turmoil, Ali MacGraw continued to find acting roles, though her star no longer burned quite as bright as it had in the love story heyday. She appeared in Players, 1979, and Just Tell Me What You Want, 1980, attempting to reestablish her footing in an industry that often moves on quickly once a star steps out of the limelight. Then came her television debut in the 1983 miniseries The Winds of War, where she played Natalie Jastrow opposite Robert Mitchum. Audiences admired her portrayal of a woman caught in the global upheaval of World War II, and it was a reminder of Ali's ability to convey both vulnerability and quiet strength. In 1985, she joined the cast of the long-running television soap opera Dynasty, portraying Lady Ashley Mitchell, a character who exudes glamour but also had a manipulative edge, common traits in a show known for its opulent rivalries. The role proved she could hold her own in an ensemble of strong personalities, though it didn't fully revive the cinematic superstardom she once enjoyed. After the 1986 film Murder Elite, Ali took another break from acting, this time for about 7 years. She had become selective, craving projects that resonated with who she had become as a person, rather than chasing big box office draws. During this hiatus, life dealt another harsh blow. A wildfire swept through Malibu, destroying her home. Stripped of possessions and stability yet again, Ali decided to relocate to New Mexico. The state's more laid-back atmosphere and natural beauty offered a fresh start. Still, her struggles weren't just external. She wrestled with depression, lingering resentments, and, by her own admission, a pattern of substance abuse that had followed her through previous relationships. Recognizing that she needed a profound change, she sought help at the Betty Ford Clinic. This stay became a turning point, a chance to confront her alcoholism and her dependence on men, as she would later write in her 1991 autobiography, Moving Pictures. The book offered a raw glimpse into her personal battles, from the illusions of Hollywood glamour to the toxic patterns in her marriages, shining a compassionate light on how she finally decided to break free. Recovery not only helped her confront her demons, but also allowed her to explore new interests. One of the most significant was Hatha Yoga. In the early 1990s, yoga was still far from mainstream in the United States, often perceived as either a fringe pursuit or an exotic ritual for health-obsessed individuals. But Ali fell in love with it, recognizing its ability to nurture both mind and body. She released a video, Ali MacGraw Yoga Mind and Body, which became a bestseller and is often credited with introducing yoga to a wider American audience. Through this new chapter, she reinvented herself from a screen starlet to a wellness advocate, someone who found serenity and resilience through daily practice on a yoga mat, rather than the applause of fans. Simultaneously, Ali discovered a deeper sense of social and entrepreneurial passion. She started a clothing line, Ali for Ibu, dedicated to empowering women artisans around the world. The word Ibu, from the Indonesian language, means a woman of respect, and the brand sourced materials from dozens of crafts worker groups across multiple countries, blending fashion with a commitment to global community building. The line was about more than style. It was about forging meaningful connections that enabled women to become self-reliant economically. This humanitarian angle appealed to Ali's growing desire to do work that went beyond self-promotion. Her compassionate streak also manifested in animal rights activism. She participated in public service announcements for PETA, urging people to prepare for their pets' safety during natural disasters. For her dedication, she received the Humane Education Award from Animal Protection of New Mexico, a testament to how her conscience had expanded to embrace more than just her own healing. She was no longer simply the glamorous star from Love Story, but rather an individual using her influence to highlight causes that resonated deeply with her. Naturally, as the years moved on, curiosity about Ali MacGraw never fully waned, even if she wasn't regularly on movie screens. People magazine named her one of the 50 most beautiful women in the world in 1991 when she was 52, proof that her radiance transcended youthful looks and touched on something more enduring. Now and then, she made returns to the public eye. She appeared in a 1992 TV movie, Survive the Savage Sea, then took a small part in Natural Causes, 1994, and Glam, 1997. She popped up in Get Bruce, 1999, as herself, showing that her persona still intrigued audiences and creative teams. She even made cameo appearances on talk shows, including The Oprah Winfrey Show in 1990 and again in 2011 during Oprah's farewell season. Ali's willingness to be candid about aging, about addiction, about heartache, endeared her to a new generation of viewers who admired that transparency. In April 2006, she made her Broadway debut in the play Festine, showcasing a commitment to her craft that had never fully disappeared. For all her starts and stops and all the ups and downs in her personal life, Ali kept returning to performance as a kind of creative home base. There was something about stepping into another persona, telling a story live on stage that resonated with her sense of artistry. Perhaps it also reminded her of the fleeting magic she once shared with film audiences in her Love Story heyday. Ali's personal life never ceased to fascinate the public. She married 3 times, first at a very young age to a Harvard graduate and banker named Robin Hohen, though that relationship ended swiftly. Then came the marriage to Robert Evans, with whom she had her son Josh. Finally, she wed Steve McQueen, arguably the most storied marriage of her life. Although she never remarried after her divorce from McQueen, she remained cordial with Evans, even accompanying him when he received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Her friendship with Ryan O'Neal, her co-star from Love Story, also continued. They even toured together in 2016 for the play Love Letters, delighting audiences who wanted a nostalgic glimpse of that cinematic duo who had once defined romance for an entire generation. They shared an easy rapport on stage, a warmth that recalled their earlier chemistry, but was tempered by decades of life experience. One might look at the period following her marriage to Steve McQueen as a dividing line. Before it, a hopeful young actress ascending the Hollywood ladder. After it, a mature woman who'd seen enough heartbreak to last a lifetime. But that would be too simplistic, because Ali continued to evolve even after the McQueen chapter. She entered rehab, wrote her autobiography, ventured into yoga instruction, got involved in philanthropic pursuits, and ultimately found ways to lead a more grounded life than one might guess. For a woman who once graced the covers of magazines and starred in blockbuster movies, it's a rarity in Hollywood for a star to step away on her own terms, seek solace in nature, engage with spirituality, and still return occasionally to the limelight when the project feels right. Yet that's exactly what Ali did, forging a path that may not have followed the classic blueprint of unstoppable fame, but one that seemed better aligned with her soul. She has occasionally faced questions about whether she regrets leaving film at the peak of her stardom to please Steve McQueen, missing potential career breakthroughs that could have rivaled the success of Love Story. Ali has acknowledged the pain of that sacrifice, but she's also pointed out that her journey, no matter how winding, taught her invaluable lessons. Raised under the complexities of her parents' backgrounds, her father's Scottish roots, her mother's Jewish-Hungarian lineage, hidden from her father's bigotry, Ali spent much of her youth in an environment of unspoken tensions. Over the years, She explored different spiritual practices, drifting toward a more universal sense of faith influenced by her immersion in yoga and Eastern philosophies. This spiritual leaning isn't something she flaunted with fanfare, but it's seeped into her worldview, informing her activism and her compassionate approach to life's struggles. Her closeness to her only child, Josh Evans, also provides insight into the personal side of Ali that the public rarely sees. Josh, who carved out his own place in the entertainment industry as a director, writer, and actor, has occasionally spoken about how his mother's experiences taught him to be cautious about the pitfalls of fame. She has described motherhood as one of her greatest joys, despite the chaos that surrounded her during different phases of Josh's childhood. That maternal love has remained a steady current through the swirling rapids of her career and her tumultuous personal life. Even in her later years, Ali's creative spark found ways to surface. Beyond occasional film or television appearances, she's engaged in smaller-scale artistic endeavors and been involved in community theater or benefit events. She stays active in the Santa Fe area, where the pace of life is gentler compared to Hollywood, and the emphasis on holistic wellness, Native American art, and environmental conservation aligns with her personal ethos. Photographs from local events show her radiant smile, gentle posture, and a quiet grace that seems to say she is at peace with where life has taken her. Ali MacGraw's story is one of resilience, self-discovery, and courage. From her rise as a beloved Hollywood star to her battles with personal challenges and ultimate path to healing, her journey continues to inspire fans around the world. Though her health may be slowing her down, her legacy remains timeless. If you enjoyed learning about the life of Ali MacGraw, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about Hollywood legends. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.